If you're building out a SaaS business, as a founder, you've got two levers: ship code, close deals. Ship code, close deals. On the last few episodes, and probably the next few episodes, I'm gonna be digging a lot more into how to actually close deals instead of just shipping code. That's one of the biggest things I learned when I was transforming myself from an engineer to a true startup founder. I realized that I was never really just that one feature away from growing my company. I actually had to look at the two together, shipping code and closing deals. And it wasn't just more features, it was actually having a sound go-to-market strategy. On my last episode, I gave you my 3 principles on how to build out your SaaS marketing engine. If you haven't watched it, don't worry, I'll link to it below after this video. On this video, once you actually implement your marketing engine and have all these leads and pipeline coming through, you're gonna have to enter into a sales process. On this video, I'm gonna explain to you my 3 strategies that I've used over 10 years in being in SaaS to actually close deals. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, author of the book, How to Punch the Sunday Jitters in the Face, Entrepreneur and Angel Investor. On this channel, I help startup founders, entrepreneurs, and business owners build and execute on an unstoppable strategy for their life and their business through belief and discipline. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon because I drop a video not only just every Sunday, but now every Wednesday as well, to help you thrive in building your SaaS business. So I'm gonna be walking you through these 3 strategies that I have come across in building out your SaaS sales process. I picked up these 3 SaaS sales strategies as I was taking ToutApp, my company, from 0 to 7 million ARR. We went on to sell ToutApp to Marketo, a market leader in the space. I served at Marketo as SVP of strategy. At one point, I ran all of the European region, their sales organization. At another point, I ran the entire ANZ region. And at a different point, I ran the entire alliances organization globally. In each of those cases, we were closing deals. And in each of those cases, and in the ToutApp case, these 3 principles came into play to actually close deals effectively. Interestingly enough, these 3 principles are timeless. They've worked in different stage companies, different size companies, and in different regions. So I'm super excited to be digging into these with you. If you are as well, be sure to smash that like button for myself and my team. It means a lot to us, but also for the YouTube algorithm. And let's dig in. So these are the 3 strategies that I try to incorporate in every sales conversation that I try to have. These are the things I actually try to build out in any sales organization that reports into me. I'm gonna give you a highlight of each of these and I'm gonna dig into each of them, okay? Number 1 is you gotta address why you, as in the customer. Number 2 is you gotta address why us, as in us, the company, trying to sell them something. And number 3 is you gotta address why now. So why you, why us, why now? That's easy to remember, right? Let's dig into what each of them mean. The first thing you really gotta address, whether you're designing your sales organization and your sales and marketing strategy, or going into an individual sales conversation, is you gotta address why you. Why you is the biggest question that anyone that is being sold to is wondering. It's like, why are they talking to me? What do you have for me? I'm busy, I have other things to do. Whether it's an ad I'm seeing as a buyer or in a sales conversation, a demo that I actually said yes to, but 5 seconds before I hop on the call, I'm kind of like, why the hell am I doing this call? Do I actually need this call? And people constantly need to be reminded, why you? And so you actually have to build that trust and connection in the first 5 seconds of every sales call. You have to make them feel understood, and you have to actually highlight the problem that you are solving for them. Now, there's a very specific way to do this really well. I highlight this in my Unstoppable Sales Funnel training. I'll link to that video below. Don't worry about it. So if you haven't built this out yet and you're not quite sure how to actually highlight why you right now, don't worry, I'll link to the video below. The other thing that I actually will highlight is you gotta know your ideal customer. Regardless of whether you're working on the sales process or the marketing process or your product, creating an ideal customer profile is the most important thing. And when you do that in the right way, in the very specific way, why you becomes very easy, and highlighting this in the beginning of a sales conversation or on an ad or on a homepage becomes that much easier. So if you don't have an ideal customer profile, be sure to check out this video that I did on building an ideal customer profile and the 3 things that you didn't know about a really good ideal customer profile. Once you've addressed why you are talking to this person? How do you get their attention? How do you build a rapport? How do you highlight the problem they're probably having? The second thing you want to do is why us. Why us is why should you be paying attention to me? So I can come to you and say, hey, like this is a tout app example. When we went to VPs of sales, we would say, look, it takes 7 touches to convert a lead to an opportunity. And it takes 7 touches across phone, email, social, maybe even physical events. How many of your salespeople do you think are doing that? So that's a great way to do why you, because they will understand like, oh, this person understands my problem. They actually have researched this. This sounds right. And the stat they're highlighting is from a reputable source. So tell me more. That's why you. Now the second question becomes, well, why should I trust you or buy from you? They're like, yes, I agree. You have my attention for 30 seconds, but to keep that attention, you're gonna have to explain to me why I should trust you. That's what gets into why us. And the best ways to do why us is to highlight social proof, show trusted data, and also highlight your unique point of view. Let me explain. Whenever we went into these kind of conversations, whether it's at Marketo or at tout app, we always came in with our unique point of view. We always highlighted a macro trend that was happening, not by us, but by an independent trusted body that showed that they have a problem. And then we started to highlight the customers that trusted us, the logos that were already with us, and then we started to say, and by the way, we have a unique way of approaching this problem. This is a real problem, and here's what we believe. Let us teach you. So we went from actually identifying what the problem is, which is why you, and getting their attention, to actually saying, here are the trusted sources, here's the other people that trust us, and here's our unique point of view. And when we did that, that started to build that trust in terms of why us. So let me just pause here for a second, all right? I highlighted the why you and the why us. Now, we are in sellers' positions, right? Because we're building companies and we've got to sell the software and the seats to buyers. I get it. Close your eyes for a second. You don't have to close your eyes, but if you want to, do it. It helps. Think about the last time you were buying something. Think about the last time you had to make a significant purchase. You had to make a significant commitment and you were investing in something. Think about that time. And if that salesperson, when you were buying, whether it was good experience or bad experience, I just want you to ask yourself, did they really help you feel understood? Where they said, hey, you got to trust me because I understand your problem. And they highlighted it and it really made you feel understood. And then did they really make you feel safe in showing the social proof, the trusted data, and then taught you something you didn't know about that problem? If you can start to imagine how much better of an experience that's going to be, even within the first 30 seconds to a minute of a sales conversation, or when you're thinking about building your sales organization or marketing organization to actually arm your people with this, if you can start to see the difference in this. Can I just get a yes in the comments below? Because this may seem obvious, but you would be amazed how many people skip the basics. And when you start to focus on these two, everything changes. So hit me with a yes below. Also, let me know who you are, what you're working on. I want to get to know more people in this community. So I just love hearing from you guys as well. So share your comments in the comments. Now, once you have those two, here's the biggest thing. A lot of times I see salespeople actually have lots of conversations. They have a lot of leads. Here's the thing. People will even nod. Customers will say, yeah, that's a macro trend. That's really true. They will say, wow, this is a really compelling solution. They'll even say like, wow, some of my friends are using your product. That's cool. But if you don't do this last one, if you don't do this last piece, if you don't cover after why you, after why us, if you don't do this last piece, you will not close a deal. Now look, you may be in the lower end of the market where you're doing this through a webinar and you never talk to a person, or you may be in the highest end of the market where you're doing a 9-month to a 12-month sales cycle with 6-figure deals or $1 million deals. You still have to address this last piece, and that is why now? Here's the thing. There's 2 questions that really come to mind in the prospect's mind when they're entering this phase of this conversation. They might trust you. They might agree that there's a problem. They really want to understand, well, what are you gonna actually achieve with us? You have to explain that. As in, if you make a certain decision, what are you actually gonna achieve? What's gonna change? What's gonna be materially better? What's gonna be materially different? Because anytime I say yes to someone, I know there's more work involved. It's not just money. And so they're wondering like, well, do I need to make this decision now? Can I do it later? I agree with all the things. I trust this guy, but why now? So you've got to first highlight, well, what are you actually gonna achieve? So often I see people saying, well, you're gonna get this feature and this feature and this feature and this benefit, but they don't actually say the results they're going to deliver. And you gotta highlight the results. And then you gotta tie that with what's at stake if you don't do this now. You actually have to understand through the sales process where how pronounced the problem is. And usually that comes down to either risk or money. They're either gonna lose money if they don't make this decision now, or they're gonna take on more risk, which will then again lead to them losing more money. You gotta position in one of those ways so that they understand exactly what they're getting. And if they don't get it, what will happen to them? What's at stake? And that comes down to why now. So now you know whether you're entering into a sales conversation, you're preparing your sales org, you're putting together your website, all these things. These are the 3 key principles that you actually have to answer and incorporate into every customer touch point. Number 1 is why you. Number 2 is why us. And number 3 is why now. That is all that matters. I run sales organizations in different regions. I run sales organizations in different scale. I've run companies in different scales that we're selling. And all these things, these are the 3 most important questions that came in. These are the 3 SaaS strategies that you actually have to incorporate into your sales process if you want to close deals and also ship code. Now you know how to actually shorten your SaaS sales cycle, how to actually make it more effective, how to actually close more deals. But you may not know how to actually exactly craft your messaging, how to actually get that marketing funnel right so that you drive more leads, or actually how to actually answer some of these questions around why now or why us. So if you're working through all this, chances are you're building a SaaS product and you're driving to that next stage of growth and driving to that product market fit. If that's you, luckily for you, I've created an entire guide for you. I've taken everything that I know across all these different videos that I've done, and you're welcome to check those out. I'll link to those down below as well. But I've really codified it into a framework for you. You can learn about that framework in my Unstoppable Guide to Product Market Fit. It's completely free. The link is below and you can download it. And it'll give you a codified framework that I use to actually figure out a lot of these things. Lastly, if you liked this video and got value from it, please smash that like button for us, my team, and also the YouTube algorithm. I do a video like this every Sunday and every Wednesday around building and scaling SaaS businesses, leading an unstoppable life. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon if you're new. And lastly, if you're part of an entrepreneur group, a star founder group, or a business operator group, a SaaS experts group, please share this video. It would mean the world to me and my team. We want to get our message out there as much as possible. And lastly, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. But when you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I will see you in the next episode.